give us a sense of what it's like there on the ground at the moment in New York, and
Well,
think Australians might want to be particularly made aware of.
well, and I know there's a lot of Australians that live here and certainly even more visited. So it's an honor to represent the city today and talk a little bit about this. I think I've been thinking about this, Simon. I am struck by sort of Dickens' Tale of Two Cities beginning. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Here in New York, it's northern spring. And so, and in fact, it's been a chilly spring. And so the flowering trees have lasted much longer than they normally would. Cherry trees have held their petals for, almost 2 weeks. It's been a beautiful, beautiful spring. And so in the morning, I walking my dog and through City Hall Park, where right where, if for you who have visited New York, it's right where the Brooklyn Bridge comes into Manhattan. There's a little triangular park there that City Hall is built on and made famous because during the American Revolution, one of our great heroes of the American Revolution, Nathan Hale, was executed there by the British, hung, and his stirring last words were, "I regret, but I have but one life to give for my country." And his statue is there. So I walk by that every morning. I walk by looking at the Brooklyn Bridge and the beauty of spring and, the best of times. And I walk around the block of Pace University, and we have a hospital next to Pace University. It's the only hospital in Lower Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And as I turn the corner, there is a large white tractor trailer truck that is being used as a temporary mortuary because there is not enough places to hold the bodies that have passed away. And so you have this incredible dynamic of sort of that you're living through. I thought the other way to put this in context, because sometimes numbers can be numbing. Yeah. And I tried to think of how would I convey this. And as many people refer to this as we're in a battle, we're in war. And I thought, how would I convey this? And I thought, the bloodiest single day in US history was the battle at Antietam during the Civil War. It was a Union victory. It was so important, it allowed the first victory really for the Union cause. And the most important thing that happened from it is Lincoln was able to issue the Emancipation Proclamation from a position of strength and not weakness by winning that battle. But 3,600 people died in one day on both sides, Confederate and Union. But if you take all the people who have died at Antietam, US citizens, all the Americans killed at Pearl Harbor, all the Americans killed at Guadalcanal, at Iwo Jima, at Normandy, the entire Iraq War, the entire Afghanistan War, that totals just over 28,000 people. You would have, putting all of those together, you would have to multiply that by greater than 2, more than 2, to achieve the amount of people who have died in the past 6 weeks in the United States of America. 60,000, almost 62,000 estimated today. America's deaths are 1/3 of the world's deaths. And what's fascinating is New York, just New York City, is 1/3 of America's deaths. So to put that in context, think of that, of those, we've lost now about 22,000 people just in New York alone. So we're not up to all that number of 28,000 yet, but we'll hit it for certain. So I think that gives you a context of the worst of times. Now, a little story about the best of times is this has not broken the spirit of this city. I love New York City. It's an amazing place. Nothing matches its energy, even when its streets are empty. But at 7 o'clock every night, people all across the city open their windows, and we have a whistle, we have a big pot we bang. People clap. If they have a trumpet, they blow it. If they have a drum, they beat it. If whatever. We've had opera singers, singing arias. And it's all as a way to say thank you to the amazing men and women who are working on the front lines here, whether they be ambulance drivers, nurses, janitors in hospitals, doctors, all of the people who are keeping the city together during this incredible time that there is nothing to compare to in American history. And every night it gets a little louder. And I have to tell you, I cannot help but every night cry when I am listening to it, because it is such an outpouring of human passion and love and support, and for thanks to the people who are risking their lives for everyone else's. And it's the best of times when you see things like that. So I hope, I didn't mean to paint too bleak a picture, but I think we can't be Pollyannish with the numbers that we're facing and what people are dealing with and wrestling with. There's no one living in New York City who does not know someone who has died. I have watched body bags come out of buildings across the street, into ambulances. It is touching everywhere and everyone.